What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, the hardest working man in sports and gaming, and I'm coming to you with a video. This is an NBA 2K19 video. It's not really a wish list, but you guys notice I've been dropping some mode specific type of suggestions, and I don't know what you want to call it because it's a little late for a wish list, but I'm just kind of letting you guys in on what I think could happen for each of these modes for both NBA 2K and NBA Live that I think can make each one of these modes better. So this particular time we're tackling MyGM and trying to see if we could broaden the audience for the mode. So I have some suggestions on how that can happen. All right, y'all. Please go ahead and leave a like on this video, and also don't hesitate to subscribe, and don't forget, click that notifications bell so that you can know when new videos are dropping. This is a big time for 2K and Live. A lot of information coming out, news, and just kind of off the top of the head stuff like this. All right, so one of the first things I think they need to do is allow created rosters. I don't know that this is going to necessarily open up the audience, but I do think that for the people who are already down with MyGM, I think that this is something that we would appreciate. MyGM is different from My League because you only can control one team and you're kind of on that team's journey. I like the fact that you're on one team's journey and you're kind of building this story. I like the fact that they went to a story line this time for MyGM. I don't like everything about that, and then we'll get into that a little bit later on. But I think what would allow you to have even more customization and put more of your own imprint and have more control over the experience that you have within MyGM is if they allowed you to do custom rosters. So people create all kinds of rosters. I've created the Ultimate Legends roster, which they kind of build it off on themselves when they created the Ultimate Legends, their own all-time rosters. But whatever type of theme rosters you want to go to, it would be nice if you could, you know, kind of upload those into MyGM. Right now you can only do it through My League. The other thing I think is they need to add a large VC bonus for winning championships and awards in MyGM. Now, I've mentioned this about My League. I've mentioned this pretty much about every mode outside of my team and my career, where you're already there. But like, I think that this is something that could definitely grow the audience for MyGM. If you get like 25,000 to 50,000 or maybe even as high as 100,000 PC for winning a championship, and you know, have some sort of requirements, we have to play a certain amount of games, I think a lot of people would do that, you know. And for 2K, you chock that bad boy full of, you know, advertisements so that they can, you know, recoup that money without having, or not recoup the money, but earn money, you know, without having people have to pay into it. I think it would be awesome. The other thing is I think it can ditch the in-season cutscenes. They're not as intrusive as the cutscenes in my career, but I don't know that, I don't know. To a degree, it seems like they lack a little bit of personality, so to speak, because obviously there's no voice involved, which I'm not totally against, but I have an idea coming up that I think is a better way to incorporate these cutscenes. And notice I said in season, which is the key to what my other suggestion is. I just feel like when you're going through this thing, I don't know if I want to be stopped and paused with the drama and the other stuff during my season. I want to kind of have like everything take its course, do its thing, and then we can talk a little bit more about the story that developed during the season or what have you. We see we getting Bobby Porter's Crazy Bobby Eyes. There you go. If you're a Chicago Bulls fan, y'all know about Crazy Bobby Porter's Eyes. Nico Mirotic definitely knows about Crazy Bobby Porter's Eyes. But here is my suggestion besides that. Now, I think you should have the ability to create a season-ending documentary video. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world is this on the screen? This comes from a really bad boxing game called Don King Prizefighter. But one thing that Don King Prizefighter did really well was they had this unique concept where it was like your career was like it was like a retrospective. So all of this stuff basically happened even though you were controlling it, but you're telling the story of this boxer's career. I think if you did something like that in MyGM where you play through the season and then different events throughout your season are basically building this documentary. So it's almost like you're building your own 30 for 30 that's going to be played and is shareable, you know, on YouTube or on whatever type of network. Is shareable from that point on. So every season would have its own story. I think that would be dope. And I think as people started to see people sharing their MyGM stories, I think it would make people want to play. The other thing I think would be really cool is MyGM Classic season. So what do I mean by that? Well, this kind of almost goes into the custom roster thing, but not really. I think that it would be really dope if 2K put together entire roster sets for classic NBA seasons. Now, I know this is a huge licensing undertaking, but if they took maybe the 95-96 season, the year the Bulls won 72 games and won the championship, they basically recreated as many of those teams with as much licensing as possible, tried to get all the key players, which for the most part, they kind of got a lot of those guys anyway. You got some, you know, some obvious people that are missing, but you try to do that, and you basically give people the opportunity to replay those classic seasons. They can take advantage of them. They could be the Bulls to see if they can go 73-9 or 74-8, or they can try to be like the worst team in the NBA, or maybe they can be the Seattle Supersonics and try to see if they can knock off the Bulls in the NBA Finals in that season instead of losing in 6. Whatever it is, I think that would be something that might be pretty cool to do. I know that I would be interested in doing it. I can see YouTube series and people doing Twitch videos and streams on it as well. You know, hey, I'm playing the 2000-2001 season, and I think it opens up something that you can do down the line. You know, they can add new seasons as time goes on, and you know, a lot of it won't even require necessarily getting new licensing, because you'll have license to use whatever player from previous, you know, from a previous season that you're added. So now you're just adding on top of that. So I think it would be really awesome. Something, like I said, I would definitely be interested in playing. I don't know if any of this will happen. I'm just really pulling out of the brain at this point. But that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you watching always. I talk sports and I talk gaming. God bless. Peace.
I'll be weak. I'm rather unique.